Hello, my name is Scott Davis. Welcome to New World Birth. This is the weekly neutrino forecast for February 28th to March 5th of 2016. And on February 28th, we have the sun, denoted here by this black circle with a dot in it. It's in Pisces. It's also in the 37th hexagram. And on the outside of the wheel, we've got the chalk mark for the 37, numbered from bottom to top. The 37 goes yang, yin, yang, yin, yang, yang. And then the 37th hexagram is mapped to an opening in an energy channel called a gate. And right here, this is the 37th gate of friendship, the family, the manifestation, macro and microcosmically, of the organic nature of communities, located in the solar plex center in a tribal energy path in the ego circuit called the Channel of Community, a design of a part seeking a whole that connects to the 40th gate of aloneness, deliverance, the point of transition between struggle and liberation. And I found human design to be amazingly accurate in describing the person, that I use it as my primary tool when I provide readings. And we've got the following activated gates on February 28th. The sun is in the 37th gate with the earth in the 40th gate. The north node is in the 47th gate with the south node in the 22nd gate. Mercury is in the 49th gate with Venus in the 13th gate. Mars is in the 14th gate. And Jupiter is retrograde, and it's in the 47th gate along with the north node. Saturn is in the 5th gate with Uranus in the 51st gate. Neptune is in the 37th gate along with the Sun, and Pluto is in the 54th gate. Obviously, not every gate activation forms a channel, but this information can be very helpful if you know your own human design chart, because some of these transits will form channels with potentials in your personal body graph. And we begin the week with one channel definition due to the transit field, with the Sun-Earth axis in the 3740, and also Neptune in the 37. We have the channel of community until March 1st. This definition brings the energy where people will wonder where they belong in the scheme of things and try to live that out. It'll be a time of thinking about marriage and family as the foundation of community. Fairness becomes more important under the influence of the channel of community. Balance becomes important in all aspects of life. People will explore how they fit into their community, and on a mystical level, where they fit in the universe and what their true purpose is. This impacts people to think that they need to be supportive of those beings around them, and they get pulled into things related to the community. With a defined ego center, people without a defined heart center may feel as if they have something to prove or want to improve or make promises or commitments that are not correct for them. And the defined solar plexus, for those who do not have emotional definition, this channel can bring the unfamiliar wave of emotions and perhaps lead to acting confrontational. We begin February 28th with the sun in the 4th line of the 37th hexagram. The sun in the 37.4 is described as leadership by example. Any member of the family may take on a leading role through exemplary behavior. Exalts the manifestation of the highest principles of everyday practical affairs. The possibility of the highest principles in all relationships resulting in a leadership role. Detrimented conservatism that generally only accepts the leadership of the father, who may or may not be a valued role model. The possibility of being insensitive to the leadership of anyone other than those accepted by tradition. Later on the 28th, the sun moves into the 5th line of the 37 at 11:08 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The sun in the 37.5 is described as love, natural and unaffected devotion to family, exalted, natural harmony and perfect sharing, natural harmony and sharing possible through friendship. detrimented emotional dependency that often turns love into hatred, the possibility of dependence turning love into hate. On the 29th, the sun then moves into the 6th line of the 37 at 9:32 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The sun in the 37.6 is purpose. The energy to maintain the family is enhanced by recognizing its values. Exalted, the gift of not only recognizing the inner meaning of the family, but also an appreciation for its values. The possibility of extending friendships through the appreciation of its values, of its value. Detrimented, a need for diversity that may ignore the achievements of the family in favor of withdrawal. The need for diversity that, despite appreciation, will prefer casual relationships. And on March 1st, the sun then moves out of the 37, leaving Neptune. And the Earth moves out of the 40, and the Earth moves into the 64, and the Sun into the 63. So we move from having one definition to another definition. All right, so we've got the Earth is in the 64th gate of confusion before completion. Transition, like birth, requires a determined strength for the passage through. This shift happens at 7:57 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The sun is in the 63rd gate of doubt after completion in the spiral of life. All endings are beginnings, and the sun is exalted in the first line of the 63, which is composure, exalted, the quality of personality, where achievement is accepted with equanimity, where continued development is allowed to take its natural course, acceptance of achievement, but doubt whether continued development will take place. And so this shift, following having the definition of the channel of community, we're likely to see in the news as the power of community and support breaks up. With the sun in the 63 and the Earth in the 64, this is replaced by doubt and confusion. In the head center, this is a pressure and inspiration. Doubt and confusion can be very powerful in moving us towards trying to make sense out of the experience and finding solutions by looking at the patterns. This pressure is in the form of doubt and confusion, is likely to be seen played out on the world stage. The purpose of this information is really not for your personal life, but to allow you to see how the program is affecting the world. Because in your life, you're here to live out your uniqueness by being yourself through following your strategy and honoring your authority. And of course, with the Earth in the 64, and we've got Jupiter in the North Node in the 47, this gives us the channel of abstraction, a design of mental activity mixed with clarity until March 6. The energy of this channel is about creating something new out of something old. This is about abstract thought being brought into the collective consciousness through the arts, philosophy, history, and culture. This is wonderful energy for telling stories about our experiences that inspire others, but brings confusion when used to resolve our own issues. The defined head center brings the pressure to think about things that don't really matter to those without. The defined ajna center can influence people to believe they're certain of something when they actually are not. And then also on the 1st, Mercury moves from the 49 to the 30. So we have Mercury, of course. Mythology was a messenger of the gods. So this is about communication, and Ra talked about being expansion of human consciousness through communication, not just words, but also as music. So it's in the gate of recognition of feelings, the clinging fire. Freedom recognized as illusion, limitation as fate. In the first line, it's the line of composure, balance in the face of disorder, exalted, the maximization of limitation in all cases, stability through feelings, no matter what the situation. Detrimented, the ability to maintain composure, but at the expense of progress, balanced through feelings, unable to let them go. On the second, the sun then moves into the second line of the 63. This shift happens at 6:23 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The sun in this 63-2 is structuring, exalted, the establishing of a larger framework through the achievement can be expanded and shared, compensating others for their contributions while maintaining control of direction. The pressure to share one's doubts with others while still maintaining control. Detriment, instability in achievement that when in positions of authority leads to arrogance and the desire to keep others away from the center of power. Doubts in achievement that can lead to suspicion of others. And then on the third, the sun then moves into the third line of the 63rd hexagram at 4:49 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The sun in the 63-3 is continuance, exalted, the dedication to the new beginning that insists on maintaining its achieved principles despite having to interact with those who have not attained such a state. Doubts that one can maintain one's principles when interacting with others. Detrimented, success at any price, the pressure to eliminate the doubt at any cost. And then also on the third, Venus moves from the 13th hexagram and gate to the 49. Something over here, 49. Put Saturn back over here. In the 5. Alright. This is just not sticking very well. This one's here. Right. Venus in the 49. So, as we've talked about before, in human design, Venus is about values, morality, natural law, in which we deal with the other and the principles and the consequences of the world around us. And Venus is in the 49th gate of principles, revolution, ideally the transformation of forms based on the highest principles and not simply for power. And Venus is in the first line of the 49, which is the law of necessity. Revolution has no support unless it's perceived as necessary. Exalted, the understanding and application of this law to maximize the expansion of support and thereby viability. The awareness that the potential of principle is based on it being acceptable as viable. Detrimented, the misuse of influence to insist that necessity can be created out of actions. The helter-skelter syndrome, to commit acts of disorder as proof that disorder exists. Oversensitivity to rejection that can turn principle into a crusade. On the 4th, the sun then moves into the 4th line of the 63rd hexagram at 3:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, with the sun in the 63-4. It's described as memory, exalted, the detailed accounting of achievement process whose information base can prepare a new order for the future. The pressure to explore the doubt in detail as a foundation for eventual formalizing. Detriment a willingness to forget in the glow of victory, with the possible price to be paid later. The pressure and risk to forget the details when doubts have been answered. And then on the 5th, the sun then moves into the 5th line of the 63rd hexagram at 1:43 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The sun is exalted in the 63.5, and it's described as affirmation. Exalted, the authority and sincerity of purpose to pursue the same values in the new beginning that allowed it to transcend the old. The understanding that doubts are necessary and of value. And also on the 5th, Mercury moves from the 30th hexagram and gate to the 55. Mercury, again, we talked about it being about communication, and it's in the gate of spirit, abundance. Abundance is strictly a question of spirit, and Mercury in the first line of the 55 is cooperation, exalted, the expansion of activity through cooperation with powerful forces, through principled actions that guarantee continued support and engender prosperity. The potential to find the spirit through cooperation with powerful forces. Detrimented the concentration on harmonic relationships with powerful forces that provide for continuity, but not necessarily advancement. The potential to harmonize with powerful forces, but not necessarily for the benefit of spirit. So thank you for checking out New World Birth. The next segment of the weekly neutrino forecast will be on March 6th. Of 2016, should be available on the 5th, when we'll continue to look at the influence of the heavenly bodies as they transit the sky in the hexagrams of the I Ching. You can check us out on Facebook, Blogger, or YouTube. The New World Birth presence is in all those places, and I encourage you to share this information as videos or as text as widely as you choose. I invite you to contact me at newworldbirth@yahoo.com if you've got any questions or you wish to schedule a reading. And if you've been thinking about getting a reading, please contact me. I would love to provide you a reading during these uncertain times. You'll need to be able to either call me in Maine in the USA, or we can connect with Skype to receive your reading. And we are also accepting donations to keep these reports freely available. As I've said before, you can contact me at newworldbirth@yahoo.com if you'd like to make a donation or get a reading. The readings are reasonably priced and full of information. They tend to run 2, 3, 4 hours long, so that you get a lot of information, a lot of detail, and a lot about yourself, and also about maybe what's going on in your life. As always, I'm blessed that you've taken the time to connect with my passion for these ancient mysteries and their application to our journey during this incarnation. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste, in Lakesh, and as Ra would say, love yourself. All my best to everybody, and look forward to connecting with you in the future.